Growing up in the UK, it should be no surprise at all that the British Bulldog was and still is a massive hero of mine. He had 3 fantastic runs in the WWF, but like so many others, his end came far too early and under really tragic circumstances. Today I am looking back at the rise of the Bulldog and his sad end. If you enjoy wrestling, please make sure to subscribe, as I will be looking back at more wrestling icons in the coming weeks. Before he got to the WWF, Davey Boy Smith had quite an interesting career. A career that would lead him to Canada, where he would fall in with the Hart family. Of course, it is his first stint in the WWF, which started back in 1984, which really put him on the map. With his partner, the Dynamite Kid, these two were a major part of the WWF's golden era, and would even win the tag team titles and have a memorable feud with the Hart Foundation. Eventually, the Bulldogs would leave the WWF, and Davey and Dynamite would split up. This tends to happen with tag teams, but Davey Boy trademarked the name The British Bulldog for himself. And this, until the day he died, was something Dynamite hated. I can see why he did this, but if Dynamite was blindsided by this, like we have been led to believe, it was not a cool move. Do you guys think that he was right to do this? I would love to hear your thoughts on him trademarking the name for himself in the comments below. Davey Boy would return to the WWF late in 1990. He had a brand new look, he had long braids, and he was super jacked. During 1991, he quickly became a fan favourite. Notable showings included going pretty far in the 1999 Royal Rumble, defeating the Warlord at WrestleMania 7, and winning the Battle Royale at the Albert Hall in the UK. 1992 was an interesting time for the British Bulldog. The WWF was trying to stamp down on the use of steroids, and it was clear as day that Davey Boy's massive physique was not 100% natural. Still, 1992 would be a year of an incredible high and an incredible low for the Bulldog. In front of over 80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium, in his home country, he would defeat Bret Hart and become the Intercontinental Champion. In his book, Bret Hart would write that Davey Boy was not in the right frame of mind. I am being kind with my words here, and he had to carry him through the match. Which, considering how great this match is, it is quite amazing. Just a few months later, he would be forced to drop the title to Shawn Michaels, and him, along with the Ultimate Warrior, would be fired due to their part in a steroid sting that had happened. Do you think the WWF was right to fire them, or do you think a suspension would have been enough? Who knows, had they just suspended him, his life could have turned out very differently. After a short stint in the WCW, the British Bulldog would return to the WWF in 1994. He sided with Bret Hart as he was feuding with his brother Owen and former tag partner Jim Neidhart. Eventually, the Bulldog would form a short-lived team with Lex Luger, where they were known as the Allied Powers. But after this team disbanded due to Luger's jump to WCW, we got to see what I consider to be some of Davey Boy Smith's best work. At the time, I felt like the Allied Powers could have had a run with the tag titles, and I would love to know if others who watched during this time felt the same way. Of course, knowing what we know now, it was probably best Luger did not have a title just before he left. Not long after SummerSlam, Davey Boy Smith would turn heel. He turned his back on the fans and his friend, Diesel, and joined forces with Camp Cornette. This heel turn was done incredibly well, and one of, if not the best heel turn, the WWF did during the New Generation era. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I, for one, never saw this coming and thought it was a great move of the WWF's part. His alliance with Owen Hart, Yokozuna, Vader, and Jim Cornette was a lot of fun. He would be in high-profile matches through the rest of 1995. He was part of the main event in Your House 3, in Your House 4, and a high-profile match at the 1995 Survivor Series. It was his bloodbath in the main event of In Your House 5 in December 1995's In Your House that really blew me away as a fan. To this day, this is my favourite match that Bret Hart and the Bulldog had, and in my opinion, this match is better in every way than the one the two had at SummerSlam. Which out of the two matches did you prefer? During 1996, he would see his star still rise, as he would be the main event in Your House 8, King of the Ring 1996, and in Your House 9, as Camp Cornette was feuding with Shawn Michaels. It was worth noting that the two matches he had with Shawn Michaels during the time were truly excellent. If I had to pick a favourite, it would be their match from King of the Ring 1996, but only just. Tag team title wins with Owen Hart becoming the first European champion and still being a featured attraction would lead him to becoming a major part of the Hart Foundation in 1997. This led to the Montreal Screwjob, where he was so disgusted with what happened, he demanded his release. And this was really the start of the sad end for the British Bulldog. It is fair to say that his entire run with WCW was less than spectacular. Throughout his career, Davey Boy Smith had used steroids and many other recreational drugs. Most notably, it had been reported time and time again that while in WCW, and even before, he would smoke crack. It would be an injury he suffered at the hands of a trapdoor in the middle of the ring, which was there for the Ultimate Warrior at Fall Brawl 1998 that would prove to be a major catalyst in the end of the Bulldog. He took a few hard bumps on this, which led to an injury that led to a staph infection, which was never quite properly diagnosed until it was too late. This led to an addiction to morphine and him becoming dependent on it. Like many addicts do, he convinced himself he was fine, and after a meeting with Vince McMahon in 1999, he managed to get his job back in the WWF. The old British Bulldog was thought too uncool for the Attitude Era. Gone was his trademark look, and instead they had him wrestle in jeans. I for one think that the Bulldog was a timeless character, and he could have been a part of the Attitude Era in his trunks. Do you agree with this, or do you think that the jeans were the right look for the time? I'd be interested to hear your thoughts. It did not take long for the WWF to realise that Davey Boy Smith was not a changed man, and they demanded that he go to rehab. To his credit, he tried, but the staph infection was wreaking havoc on him, and it would ultimately lead to him checking out of rehab on his own. In May 2000, the WWF released Davey Boy Smith for the final time. It has been said that during the last year of his life, he was happy and had worked very hard to get healthy again. He was even teaming up with his son, Harry, with the idea of them going to the WWF as father and son tag team, which I think would have been pretty cool. Sadly, Davey Boy Smith would pass away on the 18th of May from a massive heart attack. The damage had been done to his body, and he left the world at the far too young age of 39. He left behind a fantastic legacy in the ring, with various championships, a place in the Hall of Fame, and a son who is making his own way in the world of wrestling. It is so easy to dwell on the tragedy of the end of his life. However, Davey Boy Smith is a man who gave us wrestling fans a great deal of joy during his career. So with that being said, I would love to read some of your favourite memories of the British Bulldog in the comments section down below. Thanks for watching, and please take the time to like, share and subscribe for more wrestling content.